Mr. Speaker.
Oh, to McIndoe.
Mr. Speaker, I thought John Polino sounded angry yesterday when he was announcing his candidacy, but compared with that effort, I'm beginning to think he's probably a tutor in seances and transcendental meditation. Mr. Speaker, what a great time it is to be a New Zealander. What a great time it is to be in government, and I have to say, what a fantastic time it is to live in Hamilton. So we have just enjoyed our annual Hamilton Gardens Arts Festival, and it's been a fabulous experience as always. There are wonderful things happening in the electorates that David Bennett and I are lucky enough to represent. We've just had the opening of the new Rotorua Junior High School. 634 foundation pupils began on the 4th of February. What an exciting time it is for that community. I congratulate them all. I want to acknowledge the great advocacy that David Bennett did over many years and say thank you after the boundary changes at the last election. That school is now neighbouring my electorate. In fact, that's in my electorate, and we're looking forward to the new senior high school beginning early next year as well. While I'm mentioning schools, can I congratulate Puketi School on the unveiling of their magnificent new po by the Maori Development Minister, the Honourable Te Ururoa Flavel, last week. It's a great historical monument to our city and to that school community, and I know the children were absolutely delighted with it. I want to acknowledge Horsham Downs School, which has also come into my electorate. I think so that's come in from your electorate recently on their centennial, and last weekend I had the honour of opening their new multi-purpose room as they marked that wonderful event, and great to see so many former staff and pupils there enjoying the occasion. So all the schools in Hamilton West are in great heart, and I am delighted with the work that they're doing. I want to acknowledge the principals, the teachers, the boards of trustees, the Parent Teachers Association, and in particular those wonderfully hard-working support staff in all our schools, not just in my electorate, but all around the country. What a great job they do and what important work they're undertaking with our young people. So this year has begun well for New Zealand, and the Prime Minister's statement has highlighted what a busy, focused, purposeful, effective government he is leading. So the signing of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement at the end of last year is excellent news for an export-dependent country like New Zealand. And I haven't met a single exporter, producer, manufacturer, business owner who isn't excited by it. Because, sir, they all know that the world doesn't owe us a living. And we have to make our own way. We have to grow our economy. We have to create opportunities to invest and for new jobs to be created. And every free trade agreement that New Zealand has ever entered into, from CER right through to the Chinese and the Korean agreements in more recent times, have shown just how important free trade is for New Zealand. So I'm very proud of the national government's announcement last year of the magnificent marine sanctuary around the Kermadec Islands. I'm very proud that yesterday we announced yet another lift to the minimum wage, because every year since we came into office we have lifted the minimum wage sustainably, knowing that you've got to have a balance between what can work for businesses. You don't want to push them too far where they end up having to lay off staff, but also knowing that those at the bottom end need that extra assistance. And I'm delighted that we've been able to boost their earnings. Those who work 40 hours on the minimum wage will have another $20 in their pocket from the 1st of April. I'm hugely proud that we're the first government in more than a generation to give a significant lift in benefits, and that's just around the corner as well for people who are on welfare. I'm so proud that we're the government that has introduced free doctor's visits for children under 13. I'm really proud of our rising standards of achievement in all levels in education, and I acknowledge the great work that the Honourable Anne Tolley started in that regard in her time as Minister of Education. Didn't she take a lot of flack at the time, but boy, aren't the fruits of her labours being seen now. Well done, Anne Tolley and Hekia Parata, and all who work in the education system, because it's a partnership and they're all doing it together. So I'm incredibly proud that unemployment is now much lower, that mortgage interest rates are low and wages are rising well above the rate of inflation. But I'm not proud of the negativity of the opposition. I'm not proud that they can't acknowledge any of these achievements. Soon we will vote down the Leader of the Labour Party's ridiculous amendment suggesting that the government has given up hope on the future, has no plans to prepare New Zealand for the future, is more concerned with scoring political points. Sir, pot, kettle, black. What a ridiculous assertion that is. What abject nonsense from the Leader of the Opposition. And in particular, we've seen it with his decision to place the Labour Party as the two-position party on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, turning their backs on their previously proud commitment to free trade. And what a nonsense that is. And most recently, his complete lack of statesmanship and integrity in failing to honour the Labour Party's policy at the last election to support the process over the flag referendum. We should be now having a discussion leading to a vote that is above petty politics. And that's what we all went into the last election with. Nobody will care who the government is when the change happens. Do you think the Canadians talk about that? Of course they don't. But they are mighty glad that they made the change and they now have a flag that they're very, very proud of. We should be able to do the same. We should be honouring our war dead who have the silver fern on their graves by saying now is the time to make the change. We should be embracing the emblem, and I'm wearing my grandfather's Boer War badge tonight, which is a silver fern, before we even had the current flag. A lot of people say, oh, we've got to keep the original flag. Well, the original flag was 2 flags back. The silver fern is the thing that our sports people compete in, that we're recognised on when we travel around the world. It's something we can all embrace and be proud of, and I hope New Zealanders will vote for it. I don't care who the government is. Let's just get on and make a change that's positive for our country, because that's what this great country provides us an opportunity to do, and if we don't take it now, we won't get it again in our lifetime.